Instead, it's I mean, transgender is an intellectual construct that was created by well-meaning big city urban intellectual trans types to come up with an umbrella term that would include everybody, because we were out there on the cutting edge of what is, of all this gender nonconformity and all this other stuff. And for a lot of people, all they're thinking about is in terms of I'm supposed to be a man or I'm supposed to be a woman. This, by the way, is one of the reasons why we have so much trouble with law. So one of the problems with law is that by doing things in a legal community and doing things in a legal fashion, the practice of law involves taking concepts and putting them down in words. We have to define things. We have to elaborate things. When you create a law, you have to come up with a definition. And with the defining of terms. And how we define the terms decides who's in and who's out, who's going to be protected, who isn't, and what the basis is for how we get protected. And this has been a real problem for our community, because it's not like we have where the transgender community is a group of people and we elect delegates to the transgender convention and they all get together and we create the transgender steering committee and they sit down and they hash all these things out after the transgender word subcommittee meets. It's been a bunch of us who are activists over the years working on trying to come up with things that work. And the problem is that, and this is one of the reasons why we avoided, many of us, the legal stuff for the longest time, because we didn't want to have to parse all this out. Do we want this to be about surgery, for example? No. The answer is no. Of course we don't want it to be surgery. Well, what is it about then? How do we define who's a man and who's a woman? Does it matter? Are we trying to just come up with things? Are we trying to move past the whole gender binary construct thing anyway? And if you're trying, when you ask a question like that, and if the answer becomes yes, keep in mind you're trying to move an entire world of people from a way of thinking that they've had since they were born and raised from little tiny kids. The first thing they were told is you're a boy or a girl, and everybody is one or the other, and they've been taught this for their entire lives. And so you can just say, oh, we're going to go out there and change it. It's not so simple. And so how do we go about doing this? And so we can create laws that protect some parts of our community. That's easy. The problem is protecting all of our community, whatever that means. Or are they all part of our community? Ooh, some of us argue that we don't really want those people in. And how do we separate it out? One of the things that's always driven me crazy is that the people who have problems with us don't make these distinctions. They don't, they see a trans woman who looks somewhat masculine, and they get angry. Are they sitting there saying, is that a man in cross-dressing? Is that a transvestite? Do they identify inside as a woman? Are they transgender? Are they some gay guy doing drag? No, they don't. They just think, there's something wrong, and they punch. They don't do this whole intellectual parsing that we do. And we sit there and we fight over who gets to own the victim. When, the whole Brandon Tina thing, Tina Brandon, the whole, boys don't cry. Passing butch or trans man, or what does that mean? And it's like, honestly, the people who didn't stop and do that analysis, that's not where that comes from. And when we get ourselves all wrapped up in that, we don't understand that we have to all be protected from all this stuff, or else, you're giving people a loophole. Oh, I didn't fire them because I thought that they were transgender. I thought that they were gay. I'm an idiot. I can't tell the difference. Oh, that's okay. Fine. You know what I mean? Or, or they seemed effeminate. And so it's like, I thought they were transgender. That's why I fired them, not because they were gay. We can't do that. These things overlap too much. And so, to provide these protections is really kind of hard. I want to just talk about one thing before I forget. This is really something important to me. When I ran, first time 4 years ago, I'm in Alameda County, California, which is where our biggest city is Oakland. It's Oakland and Berkeley in the north, very, very liberal. And then we've got Livermore and Pleasanton, and the east, not so quite so liberal. Dublin, not quite so liberal. And all the way down to Fremont, and Union City and Newark, not necessarily so liberal. 10 years ago, in our county, Guanarajo was murdered. And in the very same county that elected the first transgender judge, happened one of the most horrible transgender hate crimes people know about. And when I ran for that position 4 years ago for the first time, I was endorsed by Gwen's mother, Sylvia Guerrero. And she had been, I went over to take some pictures with her for the campaign. And she came out and she handed me Gwen's ashes. And